Welcome to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, the podcast where we dive deep into the journey from vision to reality. I'm Kelly Jackson, your guide on this path of self-discovery, transformation, and intentional living. Here, we explore everything from mindset shifts and personal growth to spiritual alignment and entrepreneurship, sharing insights, stories, and actionable wisdom to help you live a life in harmony with your dreams. Every episode will dig into what it means to not only dream big, but to actually consciously create the life you envision. Let's turn your dreams into real life. Hello, friends. Welcome to an extra special episode. Today is my birthday, and I've got some birthday reflections. Birthdays are natural moments to pause, celebrate, and reflect, not just on the past year, but on who we've become along the way. And in this season of life, I find myself asking, am I becoming the person I envisioned? And even more deeply than that, is my vision evolving with me? This time of reflection and self-love is the perfect chance to check in with the vision I have for myself as a reminder of where I'm headed. And I love birthdays as a time of year to do that. I especially love that my birthday falls right here at the end of the year. So the alignment for that really gets me excited because I'm checking in and I know the new year is right around the corner. So it's kind of like a head start. I have this really wonderful episode planned for us today. I made a little outline of some things that I want to cover. Before we get into that, though, I was thinking of doing something kind of fun. I was thinking of maybe like a little 10 things you might not know about me type of thing. What do y'all think? I don't know, just something fun. And I guess I'm just going to kind of go for it. So first off, December 16th, that is my birthday. I'm an 80s baby, and I'm a Sagittarius. And okay, here's one thing. So this is kind of funny. So I am a Sagittarius, and I used to, when I was younger, growing up, I'd like to read horoscopes in the paper or a magazine or whatever. But I didn't really know that much about astrology or anything. However, when I was 19, I did get a tattoo of a centaur with the bow and arrow, which is like the zodiac for Sagittarius is the archer, the centaur. So I do have this tattoo on my hip because it resonated and it was my zodiac and all of this kind of stuff. All that to say, though, I wasn't really into astrology so much. And it wasn't actually until this year that I was gifted reading to do my birth chart, which is like your sun, moon, rising. And it was an amazing call. It was the best energy. I loved it. It was such an unexpected and appreciated gift right on time. It was really good and it was fun. But again, that was just this year. So I do have a centaur tattoo. I am a Sagittarius. Y'all know a couple years ago I made the centaur costume because I really always have been drawn to the centaurs back since childhood. Maybe was that Fantasia that had the centaurs? So that's one thing. let me tell you something else. I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, guys. However, I love the smell of coffee. So I hang out in coffee shops. I mean, I'll go work there. I meet clients there. You know, I like to be in coffee shops. I like the vibe. I like the atmosphere. And I really love the smell. And I also keep, I keep a little canister, one of those airtight canisters in my pantry. And I keep the fresh coffee beans in it. But I don't drink coffee or I don't use them to make anything. I just like to sometimes open it up and smell it. And I really love the way it smells. That smell is so rich and it's so invigorating, and I don't need to drink it. And this is the funny thing. People have told me before, oh, you just haven't had the right coffee, when they find out I don't drink it, like, or mixed the right way. And I'm like, hey guys, I'm actually not trying to like get addicted to coffee. I mean, I'm good. And I'm sure that coffee tastes amazing and I'm sure that it's wonderful. It's just not something I feel like I need every day or that I want to need every day or feel like I need every day. I honestly can just do a big sniff in my coffee beans and like, I'm good. I'm good. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird thing, but I'm just being honest with y'all. And I do love to get like the coffee body scrubs and I love the smell of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. Okay. Let me think of something else. Okay. I'm doing this podcast, and here's the funny thing. I used to be terrified of being in front of people and speaking in front of people. And it's really funny because this feels so natural. However, there was a really significant part of my life where I couldn't do it. So when I first started college at LSU, I had signed up for this class that was in what they call it's the black box. So it was like some sort of theater class. And I don't know why I signed up for it because that wasn't me. And when we got in there, when we got to the class, and it was like the first week maybe, and you had to draw names out of a hat, and they were in animals. And then when it was your turn, you had to go in the middle of the classroom in front of all the people, and you had to be the animal. And then they would call out like things that the animal would be encountering, and then you had to like respond like the animal. I was not at a place in my life where I couldn't do it. I literally dropped the class. It was that far out of my comfort zone, and I was that unwilling to go there that I dropped the class. It was not for me. And then, so I was there for 5 years at LSU. Concentration in graphic design. So I was in the design program, and we had this, semester-long project. This is probably like my 5th year, so it's senior year. And we had been working on this project like the whole semester, maybe even the whole year. It was like a big senior project, and we had the really big reveal at the end, like your presentation of your project, and you knew this inside out. And this was like everything you had been working on. And so you should have been really confident and known it and been able to go up there and present it. And Mom and I were talking about this just the other day. She said, didn't you have to take a Valium to go do that? And I was like, I just remember the margaritas I drank. Oh gosh, did I like do both? That's not good. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and I still remember getting up there and feeling sick and hyperventilating. Like every time I would take a breath, I was like not taking another breath. It was really painful. And then And then through practice and intention and all of the kind of stuff, I find myself sitting here in front of this microphone having this conversation, and I'm really happy to be here. And I'm really grateful that you're here with me. So let's think about something else. Here's something that you might not know about me. I have never, and still don't, I'm not a news watcher, guys. I don't watch the news. That doesn't mean I've never seen a news clip segment or walked past when the news is on. What I'm saying is I have never, I don't and never have been a person who turns the news on and watches it, or who gets the newspaper and reads it. I don't do it. And I don't ever see myself doing it, if I'm being honest. So you don't have to do it. I mean, honestly, that's just, there are other ways to live, and you don't have to watch the news. And this is one of the things I really love about my life, if I'm being honest, is that I don't watch the news. It feels very good. Okay. I'm going to tell you all a funny story. When I was in college, I was bartending at this restaurant, and my sister worked there with me. And the wine glasses had been cleaned, and they had been returned to the bar, and I was going to put the wine glasses, you know how they slide like in those little holders, and they kind of hang from like the ceiling or whatever. They just hang so that the glasses slide. So I was sliding them in there by the bases and, holding them by the stems, and the bowl was hanging. And I guess I was looking to the side talking. And so when I went to stick it in, I ended up hitting the wood and breaking the glass. So the glass shattered, but I was still going inwards with it. So it sliced my wrist open. And it was right there on my wrist, and it sliced it open, and it started bleeding like a lot. And my sister was working there that night too. And it was significant, and you couldn't really see the cut because it was bleeding so much. But we wrapped it up. They took me to the hospital, and we did all that stuff. And when I came back, my sister was so tickled because the big commotion and all the stuff that caused. And when I came back, I had 2 stitches. And so she got so tickled with that. And so she called me 2-Stitch Jackson, was like my nickname for I don't even know how long. And it really was funny, guys. So I still have the scar there on my right wrist. And it's funny because I look at it and you see the line, and then you see the 2 little stitches. And that was a fun memory. Another interesting fact is that I used to be really motion sick, really seasick. Like growing up, I would get car sick. I would get ride sick, like at the amusement park, any kind of rides or whatever. Just motion sickness in general. Like I couldn't read in the car or color or just any of that kind of stuff. It would make me feel hot and flushed and like I was going to throw up. And this was this way through college even. And when I remember going on a cruise after college, maybe, or senior year or something like that. And I mean, I was wearing every picture. I was wearing these little things called C-bands that have some sort of a acupressure ball in them that presses on your wrist. And I was taking Dramamine, and I was doing all these extreme things to be able to even be on that trip. And I still remember getting seasick and everything and nauseous. And when I decided to go on this intentional journey of self and was discovering subconscious mind reprogramming and just limiting beliefs and just all of the things. I was like, wait a second. I'm going to tell myself a new story. Like, this is not serving me. I don't want to be seasick anymore. I don't want to be car sick. I don't want to be motion sick. Like, this is not fun. I remember going on a boat one time to go scuba diving, and the boat that was like taking us out there to go scuba diving, to go in the water, I was so sick on that boat. Y'all, it was just not fun. And I was like, I don't want to live like this. So that was one of the things that I decided I'm going to annihilate my current belief system that I am motion sick. And I'm going to replace that with a whole new belief system. And I just kept affirming it, reinforcing it, reprogramming. And yes, now I'm like, I took the girls to, what's the place by Disney? We went there for the first time maybe like last year. Universal. We did all the different parks. And we're like riding that Velociraptor coaster or whatever, like multiple times, and the Hulk coaster multiple times. And like, I'm loving having these experiences, and I love roller coasters, and I love going on boats, and I love that I can read and write in the car or any kind of motion. And yeah, so that was like a total paradigm shift and a total life experience shift. But I mean, I really, I was the motion sick girl. I'll have to, I'm going to make a note. I'm going to find a picture of me in those C-bands. I'm writing it down so I'll remember. And I'm going to post that for y'all when this episode airs. And you're going to see me. I was like wearing an evening gown. I mean, it was like, a gown. And then I have these like elastic wristbands on that are like powder blue. And I'm wearing this like maroon and gold gown. It was really funny. I'll find the pictures and send them or post them. Okay, number 7. One of the places I had lots of birthday parties growing up was the skating rink. I told y'all I'm an 80s baby. And so like, that was like a cool place to have birthday parties. And I definitely had more than one birthday party at the roller rink. And I remember that, you do the thing in the middle, like the races. Y'all remember the races, and then like the hokey pokey and all that kind of stuff. And the one thing that I always wanted to do when I was little, but I never learned how to do, was skate backwards. And so I'm just here to say that little Kelly is so happy that grown-up Kelly decided to get skates in her 30s. You know what I'm saying? To be like, I'm going to get roller skates. And it's been a fun journey. So I'm skating, and I can skate backwards, guys. That's when I kind of was getting at when I said little Kelly will be excited, because guess what? Grown-up Kelly learned how to skate backwards. Okay, speaking of birthdays, I did get a car for my birthday at that driving age. And I was going to tell y'all, though, about this car. It was, does anybody want to guess what color car I wanted? And I 100% wanted this. Like, this was what I wanted. Specifically what I wanted. Any guessers? Any guessers? It was purple. LSU purple. It was like royal purple. And I loved it. And we called it the Purple People Eater. And I believe that like that's the name of a movie. It's not a movie I've ever seen, but it's like some, I don't know, old movie called the Purple People Eater. I've never seen it. But anyway, that was the nickname. And if any of y'all, did you name your cars when you were younger? When you were a teen, did your car have a name? Or maybe even, does it have a name now? I am currently driving a car that I've had for 10 years. I've written about this if you don't know the story. And the girls have named it. They named it when they were younger. It's a black car, and they named it Toothless, which is they were really into How to Train Your Dragon at the time, and Toothless is the dragon, the black dragon. Ella was one of my favorite Halloween costumes. Side note, one year was when the girls wanted to be Toothless and the Light Fury, and I made them the dragon costumes. Y'all, they were really good. They were really neat. I'll have to, I'm going to make a little note to do some pics of that for y'all too. And I was Astrid that year. So I had a purple car, and it was called Purple People Eater, and it doesn't stop there. I guess love purple so much. I got my dad to install black lights in the car, under the car. I don't know. I was like a little glowing purple ball of energy just riding around town when I was a teenager. I mean, guys, really, that was me. I would like to you know what? I think I'm going to do that in meditation. I want to meditate and be able to actually see 16-year-old me driving around in her glowing purple car. Oh my gosh. I don't have any pictures of that, but that would be fun if I did. Okay. Here's something that's some of you might find interesting. I don't have a side of the bed. I don't really have that whole, let's say the whole celibacy journey is what I'm referring to. So that was the 7+ year celibacy journey when it was me being single, right? I didn't have a side of the bed. I would go back and forth. Sometimes I would sleep on the left. Sometimes I would sleep on the right. Sometimes I would spread out like a star in the middle, right? But I just never had one side of the bed. And yeah, I don't know. Fun facts. That's what we're doing here, right? Okay. Lastly, here's fun fact number 10. This self-love journey has guys, I'm sitting here and I talked about, and I'm about to get into it here. I made a little outline of just a couple points I wanted to hit on. And all of this stuff, I'm really just kind of winging it. But I mentioned when I first started about this being a time for birthdays, being natural moments to kind of just reflect and to take a minute and to pause and to celebrate how far you've come and just everything that's happened. And I'm sitting here today and I'm, sitting here in front of this microphone, and I've got the computer and I've got my little notebook and I'm all set up, and I'm doing it, y'all. I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. I'm here with you and you're listening and we're doing it together. And this is the girl who dropped out of the class in college, who felt like she had to, believed she had to take substances to feel confident enough to be seen or get into front of other people and use her voice, just all of the things, right? And then see where I am now, and I'm sitting here and I'm doing something that really and truly lights me up. It lights me up. And so when I am asking myself, am I becoming the person I envisioned? And has this vision evolved with me? And so in this moment, right here on my birthday, and keep in mind, I am not recording this on my birthday. You're listening to it on my birthday. However, when I sat down to do this, my intention was to tap into the energy of my birthday, right? So even though I might have recorded this a different day, understand that I am speaking with the energy of my birthday, coming from that place. And honestly, it's only a matter of, it's not that far away. Anyway. And so, man, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for the self-love journey. I'm grateful that I didn't give up even when it felt hard. Even when it felt hard, I was easy about it. Be easy about it, even when it's hard. One of my yoga teachers says that. And that I'm given myself permission, because nobody else had to give me permission to do this. I gave myself permission to do this, to come here and create this podcast and share my experiences, my insights, my knowledge, my wisdom with you, to serve value and to raise the vibration of love in your life, self-awareness, right? And help you ignite that spark inside of you and just remember that you are so worthy and that your dreams are worth it and you're worth it and your vision is worth it, right? So I'm just really grateful for this self-love journey, and I'm grateful that I kept going. So let's talk about the power of a vision, because I talked about the vision and setting kind of the North Star in self-love. And you've heard me mention, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but in Self-Love Uni, which is my signature coaching program, in the first module of that, like the very first module, we begin with vision, because it all starts there. We're not just creating some to-do list or setting random goals, right? Like, we're getting clear on what we truly want and who we truly want to become. Because without a vision, it's easy to drift or to live according to someone else's definition of success. And this birthday feels like the ideal time for me to revisit my vision and to celebrate the process of becoming my truest self, even as that vision deepens and grows, right? And I want to invite you to do the same. Revisit your vision. Celebrate your progress of becoming your truest self, right? When I think of, for me, like my birthday, and like I mentioned before, it falls at the end of the year, which I love because it's just, this is the time of the year anyway when, Q1's coming up, guys. Like, it's a new year, right? It's right around the corner, like less than 2 weeks from my birthday. So, or right at 2 weeks. Let me look. Yeah, 15 days away. 15 more days in this year. So I think of my birthday as a benchmark, right? And every year I'm kind of looking, and even if it's not your birthday, it's the end of the year. It's still a really great time to do this. I guess that's what I'm getting at, is that it happens to be my birthday and I'm doing this, but look, do this for your birthday too, if this feels right. But even if it's aside from your birthday, this time of year, I still feel like this all applies, right? So I'm like, who am I today versus who was I last year on this day or at this time? And I think that there's really something so powerful about making progress, not in terms of external accomplishments necessarily, but in terms of growth, of like inner growth specifically. Who was I a year ago? What parts of myself have I nurtured or even outgrown? And today, I want to honor how I've shown up for myself this past year. And I want to invite you to do the same, whether it's your birthday or not, friends, by considering who you were last year versus who you are becoming right now. And if you're listening to this, if you're the kind of person who this podcast is interesting and exciting to, then you are someone who is being intentional about their life in some way and the life that they're creating, right? And so that being said, you are not the same person you were last year. I guarantee there's been growth. And take a minute to honor it. Take a minute to appreciate it. Yes, I bet there's a lot of things that you have not yet accomplished that you really want to accomplish. Maybe even some things that you thought you would have had done by now. Podcast that took 4 years. Even though I knew that's what needed to happen. But I'm just saying every year, January, I'm making my new vision board. Guess what? I wasn't giving up on it. Bam, podcast is on it. You know what I'm saying? Just reminding you. So even this is less about focusing on the things you haven't done that you thought you would do or that you wanted to do, and more on how far you have come, right? So if you look at self-love and you look at your vision and you think about creating a life that is in alignment, which is one of my favorite words, alignment, okay? Because look, self-love is about holding a clear vision that reflects your values and your worth. And for me, this whole journey hasn't just been about goals. It's really been about creating alignment with or between my inner values or my inner vision and the life that I'm building, right? Because, and one of the ways I do that, create that alignment between my inner vision and the life that I'm building, is truly, literally with a vision board. I am taking my inner vision and putting it there where I can see it and I can check in with it every day and I can be reminded of my why and where I'm headed. And every day that I see this, I'm just programming my subconscious mind. This is the direction that we're headed. This is who we're becoming, right? And it's really helpful. And each year, and I continue to do this practice, and each year I feel more connected to this inner compass that's guiding me to fulfill these dreams and to manifest these things I'm putting on my vision board. And Self-Love Uni is built on that same idea. We start with a vision because everything else flows from that clarity, right? Oh, pardon me. Who I am becoming. Okay. That's actually the first module. That's what it's called. The vision and who I am becoming. Because that's where it starts. It starts with a vision and it starts with clarity on who am I becoming? It's not even who am I right now. It's who am I becoming? What am I moving into? What energy am I moving into? Am I shifting into? What vibration am I shifting into? What frequency am I shifting into? Right? Who am I becoming? So self-love is about, okay. So it's about, the who I am becoming and embracing growth and your flaws and all of the things, right? And there's beauty in the imperfection of the journey, just like there's beauty in, I'm hoping here, there's beauty in the imperfection of this podcast, right? Friends, I told you in the beginning, This is unplugged. It's real, it's raw, it's me. And I might stumble on my words a little. I'm doing my best. It still feels natural though. And I still feel like this is where I want to be. And I feel like all these things there's beauty in the imperfection, right? And there's beauty in the imperfection of the journey. And I have learned to hold my vision lightly, allowing space for growth and change. And there is this song that immediately comes to mind. And I feel like I should know who sings it, and I don't. But the song, the lyrics say, hold on tightly, but don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. Baby needed something to believe in and a whole lot of space to breathe in. And I think the song is hold on loosely. Hold on loosely. Yeah, don't let go. Okay, so did you hear what I said though? Hold on loosely, don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. Sometimes it's just baby needed something to believe in and a whole lot of space to breathe in, right? That's kind of how I think of my vision. I got to hold on to it. Yes. Like this podcast, I was holding on to the vision, but I wasn't clinging too tightly, right? Like that it had to happen a certain way. I was allowing space for growth and change. My life, some things needed to change within my life, and just all of the things needed to align, like we were just talking about. And now the timing is right. And look, birthdays remind us to not just look ahead, but also to love who we are in the present moment, right? It's a reminder that we're allowed to be, quote, in progress as we move towards the people we're becoming. And what I like to say, I've posted this a lot and I've said it a lot because it's so good. You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. Okay, that's so good. You can be a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. That's what I am. I am definitely over here doing the work. I'm in it. I've got lots of room for growth and expansion and improvement. Yes. And also, oh my gosh, there are some things that wow, how much self-mastery or mastery I've achieved in certain areas, right? And it's just really incredible. And I'm grateful. And so, yes, you can be a work in progress and a masterpiece simultaneously. Okay, let's talk about growing into your vision, which this is kind of all about patience and self-trust. And some of us are very patient. Some of us have mastered the art of patience. I feel like that's definitely one of the things that I've had a drastic change in my life with my patience. Like, oh my gosh, I've got it now, However, and some of you may relate to that. And then some of you may relate to this saying that my mom, I used to hear her say a lot, that some people have all the patience in the world because they've never used any. Right? Are you a person who's never used patience? Is that you? We're going to work on our patience here. So sometimes the vision that we have for ourselves takes longer than we would like. Period. I mean, I'm just speaking facts here, friends. And I have had years where I've pushed too hard. And then I've had other times where I was scared to step forward, right? And then today, I realize that every twist and turn has been part of that journey. Everything that I've ever been through has led me to exactly where I am in this moment. And I am learning that self-trust is essential. Trust in the universe also. Believing that even when things don't look exactly like the vision, I'm still moving forward. Things are still happening for me. Life is happening for me, not to me, right? And things are always working out for me. It's a good reminder. So let's wrap it up from my little outline list with a personal invitation. Because I want to share this journey with you in a deeper way. And that is why I created the group coaching container for Self-Love Uni. And if you feel inspired to explore your own vision and build the foundation of self-love that's going to support you and your hero's journey, then come join us. This space is all about embracing the journey together and supporting one another as we grow into our highest visions. And we just finished up last week. We did a free training. It was the Power of Self-Love Week. And maybe some of you were there for that. If you were in on that training that week, yes, thank you for being there. I love it. I love it. I love it. And if you weren't there for that, that's okay. I'm going to, at the end of this episode, I'll give you a little bit more information about this opportunity to get into the group coaching container for Self-Love Uni. And we start right off the bat with the vision and who I am becoming. Okay, so it's my birthday, guys. It's my birthday. And so good. So I think I'm going to put this out into the universe. I'm going to put this out for you. Your presence is the greatest gift, honestly. Your presence here is such a gift. And I'm incredibly grateful that you are inviting me into your life, into your ear, right? Guys, I don't take this lightly. And when I show up here, I'm showing up for the people like you who want to listen, who are excited to be here with me, hearing the real, raw, unplugged version of me, realizing that, oh yeah, she's human too. She messes up. She stumbles on her words. Sometimes she says she played football in high school when she absolutely did not play football in high school. I mean, sometimes she says she recorded something in 2021 and she recorded it in 2020. Like, I make mistakes, guys. And I'm here to own it. And you're here to witness it. And this is new and I'm figuring it out. And, you know, I've listened, I have some podcasters that I really admire and look up to and follow and have learned from. And one thing that seems pretty consistent from all of these podcasters, these seasoned podcasters, is they say that when they go back and listen to some of their first episodes, they're like, ooh, cringe, right? And so, all right, I get it. Like, I get it. I'm very well aware that there's a future version of me that could be listening to these first episodes going, oh, Kelly, wow, you were doing your best though, girl. You were doing your best, you know? And like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So I think what's kind of fun is when that day comes, you will be able to be like, I was one of those listeners. I remember that. I remember that episode 7 when it was your birthday, right? So like we'll have that bond, friends, that we were here together. So, so yeah, the greatest gift is that your presence, that you're here, that you have invited me into your life. And I'm humbled by that and I'm grateful for that. And if you're feeling extra generous, and you want to like give an extra birthday gift, one thing that you can do that would be amazing would be to download the show, follow or subscribe, and then do the whole like share, leave a rating, leave a review. I mean, like a quick second, just a review or a rating like the stars, an honest one. And that would be amazing. And if you're like ever listening to an episode and you just hear something and you're like, oh my gosh, that resonated, that was speaking to me, take a screenshot, post it in your stories, tag me. I would love it. It would be fun. So yeah, that's what I got for you. So like your presence is the best gift. And if you're feeling extra generous, those things would be greatly appreciated. And I love you, friends. I'm glad you're here. This is a really great birthday, and I'm glad we got to spend it together. I love you. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It. I hope today's episode sparked something powerful within you. Remember, every step you take towards your vision counts, no matter how small. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please take a second to hit that subscribe button or leave a review. That would be amazing. Or share the podcast with someone who's ready to bring their dreams into reality too. And if you're looking to dive deeper, connect with me on social media at Dreamed It, Then Real Lifed It, or at BE_what you want. Or visit dreameditthenreallifedit.us for more resources on aligning your life, business, and dreams. Until next time, keep dreaming and keep manifesting your dreams into real life. Love you, friends.